is going on, everybody? Black Glove Reviews, Slasher Saturday, talking about 1978's The Toolbox Murders. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? I am Chris C. This is Black Glove Reviews. If you like slashers, if you like the giallo, I am Chris C. You can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me under Letterboxd under Black Glove Reviews as well. If you like what you see here, if you like slashers, if you like giallo, all that great stuff there, just go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit the thumbs up if you like, and yeah, hit the notification bell. And hopefully I just do a good job here with this film. From 1978, that is The Toolbox Murders. So this is a very interesting one from 1978. It's directed by Dennis Donnelly, TV director back in like the 80s and early 70s, did a shitload of stuff. He directed episodes of Airwolf, like a lot of those TV series. It stars the very late great Cameron Mitchell, and who did like westerns and some of those older school films. He sadly died of lung cancer in 1994. May he rest in peace. We also have Pamela Ferdin as Lori Ballard. She was the voice of Lucy for Charlie Brown. There's a picture in this film that's framed, I think, in a room somewhere, of Charlie Brown of Peanuts characters and stuff. So that's a good kind of Easter egg nod there. This was the last role she did. She was a child actress. She famously said she became a nurse, but during an interview, she famously said, my mother forced me into acting, and I just got out of it. So this was her last film. You have Wesley Uri as Kent Kingsley. So you have Cameron Mitchell as Vance Kingsley. You have Wesley Uri as his nephew, Kent Kingsley. So Wesley Uri was in like Land of the Lost, Days of Our Lives, soap opera, very good-looking dude. He wanted to try something different, so he did this film. He's like, I'm tired of being like the goody two-shoes, good boy in these films and stuff like that. So first off, this, like a character piece, it's very grindhouse. It has those elements of slashers and stuff, like think Maniac. This was done before Maniac, stuff like that. It follows this serial killer who kills these young women, very young, beautiful women, with these tools that he has from the toolbox that he carries with him. You don't see him at first. That kind of brings it down a little bit because the mask he wears, it like shows his, the cutout mouth part and stuff like that too. If you gave me just like a straight up mask with just the holes in it for the eyes, I would have liked it a little bit more. That brings it down just a little bit. And he's killing these women in these apartments. Also, this stars, let's see if I can find her name here. There she is. So Kelly Nichols, who basically did hardcore porn after this. She was a Playmate of the Year in 1980 something, I believe. So, you got to get your sexy Playmate in here because there's a good bath scene with her teasing herself. All this good stuff. You see the tatas in this film. Like I say, I mentioned Pamela Ferdin. You have Nicholas Beevy as Joey Ballard. He was in some westerns as well. Old school actor from Canada. He was in the Virginian, John Wayne, I believe. Other films, what have you. This is loosely based on. So at the end of this film, there's going to be spoilers here. At the end of this film, it says this is based off a true story of events that happened in 1967. So I'm going off of that year, but talking to a journalist after this film was done, she mentioned that it's loosely based off of serial killings in Michigan. So it kind of gets me to that, of course, the film done a few years ago, Barbarian, which is kind of a character piece serial killer film a little bit. That's what it kind of reminds me of after finding out this information. But basically, it's this serial killer going around killing these women in this apartment complex. Now, the film starts out, this person's driving this car, listening to some music, and then the video pauses, like he's across from like a car lot. This was filmed in Los Angeles, and you see this car accident where this young lady dies. They get her out, and she just dies like on the gurney, and they just take her away. It goes back to present times where Joey is getting ready to go to school. He lives with his sister, Lori, in this apartment in this apartment in this apartment complex, and the mom is a bartender. And this is after these murders just happened, and they talk. These two women are killed, very cool, gruesome ways. There's good kills in this, and you get this typical tropes of everybody in there, and they basically Vance Kingsley, played by Cameron Mitchell, is the landlord of this place. He goes in there, he sits down, is like, I just can't stand the sight of blood, all this other stuff. You know who would do this? As they go through the tenants, saying does this, nobody knows. When Lori goes to school, so Pamela Ferdin, as this character, is supposed to be 15, so she was 18 when they did this film. They wanted her to do like a shower scene naked. She said no, I'm not going to do that. Specifically because she's supposed to be portrayed as a 15-year-old. That comes into play later in this film. I'll get to that. Where she goes to school with her friend and she disappears. The friend comes back home. The killer cuts the lock on the door, comes in there and kills her, strangles her, and kills her. And the sister is missing. So Joey asks his good friend Kent to help him out. And Kent was cleaning these apartments after the crime scene was all done and stuff like that too. And he seems to have a fascination with these crime scenes. This dude's a weird cat at the start here. Something's amiss. I kind of figured that maybe he was the killer, but I'm thinking, no, they don't match. You find out later, there's where the spoilers come in, that Vance is the one killing these women because they remind him of his daughter, who you see die at the start of this film. He kidnaps Lori, basically ties her up to the bed that belonged to his daughter, saying she was a good girl. I tried to teach her good. Think Seven here a little bit. All these women were sinners. You have this woman, she was teasing herself, all this other stuff like that. I tried to teach her good. It didn't work. People wanted to get their hands on them and all this other stuff too. So you find out kind of early that he has her hostage and stuff like that too. Great part by Cameron Mitchell. He plays this very well. And then basically Joey's starting to figure out what's going on. He's doing his own sleuthing with Kent. And then all of a sudden they go to the garage because Joey's helping Kent out with some stuff. He's like, going, here, we can share the money that my uncle gives me to clean these apartments up. Sure, cool. All this other stuff too. And they're doing some sleuthing of their own. The detectives don't have a fucking clue in this film, unfortunately. They don't know who's kind of doing this. They're asking questions of like, who would do this and stuff like that too. Joey makes a good comment of like going, maybe he knew the victims, knew this place and stuff like that. Oh yeah, sure, whatever like that. He walks out. That's the last you see of that. So there's a lot of plot holes in this, specifically with the mom. Joey goes back to borrow the keys to the car. You hear her in the bedroom, but you don't see her. So there's some stuff left out in this. You're wondering, does he have her hostage? What's going on here? You never figure that out. He goes with Kent into the garage and he sees the toolbox and he goes, Kent, look at this. Like all this other stuff, what here? That's where you get a total turn out of nowhere from Kent and stuff. Basically, I need to protect the family. He burns Joey alive. He finds out, in my opinion, he knew that Lori was being held captive by Vance. And he basically goes, me and so there's some incest in this story. That's all I'm going to say. Basically, Kent does some confessing to his uncle about him and his daughter and the relationship they had. Some stuff happens. Some sexual assault happens. And she ends up escaping after you see a scene with a pair of scissors. And that's where the movie ends, and you see this is based off a true story that happened in 1967. So-and-so was in a mental institution, all this other stuff, too. That's how the film ends. This was, like I say, filmed in Los Angeles, California. Had a modest budget of $185,000. This is the director's only kind of kind of like film like this. He did this on the success of the re-release of Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is funny. Hooper would later do a remake in 2004 called Toolbox Murders, which a lot of people liked a little bit better than this. I need to watch that one and give my opinions on that. So, because a lot of people say maybe it was like a knockoff on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like a wannabe one, and maybe that's why Hooper did it. Whatever. It is what it is with this. I give it a good 7 out of 10. It's very grindhouse of a film. I know Blue Underground released this as well on DVD and as a Blu-ray. I think there's a 4K, possibly. Let me all know in the info bar here if you've all seen this. This is on Tubi. Tubi has a bunch load of great horror content on there. Like I say, it has Last House on the Left. It has, oh god, like I said, it has all these grindhouse-like films in here. And this is a pretty good slasher, or it's heavy on slasher elements. So I'd like to thank Darren from Subjective Perspective Collective, my slasher bro, for suggesting this one. I'll put in the comments section what other slashers you'd like me to do for Slasher Saturday. Anyway, that's my thoughts and review on this Slasher Saturday of the Toolbox Murders 1978. If you can, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like what you see. I am Black Glove Reviews. I will see you all next time. Have a good weekend.